Yeah,
and these were smart people. Even the dumb ones were smart. It always struck me in the film.
But it was some mystical sort of, metaphysical issues on a very banal level. That was nice.
First started showing it here, there were a lot of adults who were struggling with it because it was going too fast for them. They didn't know where it was. The signposts weren't clear. They wanted a nice, clear narrative structure that said, after this, that'll happen, and get ready for the next thing. And the fact it was leaping around the place, which the kids immediately just went for. They had the confidence to just to believe in us, to trust us, and go with it. But adults think, oh no, we need some signposts. Slow it down, which we luckily ignored.
Yes.
To be in his bedroom is the whole film. Basically, it's all there. So we planned it accordingly, and luckily we got most of it there. I'm always curious how many people spot how much is there. The chessboard that's angled up just like in the Fortress of Ultimate Darkness. All those things, they're there. I mean, the only thing that we really had to fake was the ending, because we had this problem with Sean Connery not being any more available for us, because we'd used up what little time we had of him, and remembering the first conversation I had with him when he had suggested that Agamemnon not die in the big battle sequence, but comes back as a fireman at the end to save the kids.
Yeah.
That was his idea.
Yeah.
And it was because we were stuck.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get him there for the big battle. He wasn't available. So all those Frisian helmeted warriors that Fidget comes in with, that was supposed to be Agamemnon's Greek archers, and he was going to die in the scene. In fact, he doesn't die, and so we had to kill somebody else, so we killed Fidget. And we decided he's the one that we like the most, so we kill him. So it actually worked better than having Agamemnon, the surrogate father, die. Yeah. Because Fidget, and then because that allowed Wally to then become this real, incredible character.
Yeah, death of Fidget, quite sort of quite a moment that.
I know, it's like, you don't do that to kids, and it's that's exactly why you do it to kids. And Wally, Jack Purvis, who is Kenny Baker, who was playing Fidget, his partner as a musical variety act, it gave Jack a chance to really emote, and it's good stuff. It's suddenly you're dealing with real emotions, it felt like. And then at the end, again, we were stuck with this problem of how do we end it. And we'd already shot Kevin in bed with the flames and the firemen to go in and get him. And then remembered that business with Sean, and we sat and quickly wrote something, got Sean on his way. I think he'd come back to England, because he could only come back to England for a few days a year because he was a tax exile. And he'd come back to have a meeting, I think, with his tax lawyer. And in between that meeting or breakfast, we had him for literally about 2 hours. So we went out to that suburban tract there, got Sean, did 2 shots with him. And that's one with the boy putting him down as if he had carried him out of the house. And you all right? Boom. And then him climbing into the cab of the fire truck and winking and drawing away. That's all we had. And then that's what I shot, sorry. That's what I shot. And then we wrote the scene afterwards.
All right.
I remember in the original ending,
sure they died, and we had endless debate over whether they should die, whether you could kill the parents or not.
No, but that was Dennis who said, it showed to the film, you cannot do that. And I was we were having this constant fight about blowing up the parents. I said, they gotta die. They didn't listen to their kid. Parents have to listen to kids. You've got to learn the lesson the hard way. And it always seemed right. And I remember one of the crucial turning points in this argument was when we were in Fresno having a test screening of it. And for whatever reason, the film had been put through the projector through the wrong sound system. And so most of the film, and people were leaving in droves. But they fill out the cards. And one of the things was, which was your favorite part of the film? Multiple choice, and one of them was characters. Was the ending? It was down there because I said we had to find out. And I then went home that night with all the cards after they'd been, and I was reading them. I got to know what was really going on there. And the next day we get the statistics from the firm that collates these things, and there it said the part they liked the best was the ending. What nobody had done is read the cards and really see what they were saying, because they were scrawled with anger. What was the best part? The ending, because it was over. I could go home and get out of it. Is what they were saying.
Yes.
But statistically, it was the best part of the film, according to the question and the answer. And I said, well,
you showed that to Dennis.
No, I did. No, it's exactly right. I never showed him the cards. And so I said, there, point taken.
Yeah.
The fact is, yes, we wrote a script. Dennis O'Brien went out to Los Angeles to raise money. It was turned down by everybody in script form. And then he and George Harrison once again came to the rescue, like they did on Life of Brian, and put up the money to make the movie. And then with the finished movie, they went out to LA with the finished film, turned down by every studio again. And in the end, it was distributed by Avco Embassy, which is at that point the miniest of the mini majors. And Dennis and George even went further at that point and guaranteed $5 million in prints and ads. So we basically just used the machinery of Avco Embassy, the distribution system, and they guaranteed everything. So it was an incredible, again, act of stupidity. But it was fantastic. No, so the actual getting it going went quicker than most things we do now because of them coming up.
And I mean, all the elements in there were really Dennis and O'Brien using all the people he could possibly get in, as many Pythons as possible. I think that was the sort of pressure. Music by George Harrison, which in the end, of course, turned into just, I think,
the song
at the end, because the idea of music all the way through just didn't seem to work and have held the story up. But that was the idea: play to all your strengths, all the people you knew, and then try and sell it. And the remarkable thing was that in the end, after the Avco deal, it was they released it in November, which is kind of graveyard of releasing in the States, after the summer, before the big Christmas movies, and it had really cleaned up, and it was top of the charts. I mean, quite extraordinary.
Oh yeah, it went to a number one straight away.
And of course, the strategy in the end was absolutely perfect, because it was a time when there was a bit of a lull, and the big movies weren't really out there as well, and it really just caught on in the States much more than it did in the UK, I think.
Yeah, but the UK was, again, one of those mistakes, because Dennis was trying to sell it really on the back of Life of Brian using the same formula, and it was a different animal. They didn't really sell it properly. I mean, in the States, I got them to do TV commercials for 3 different groups of people, basically, for kids, going on kid television, then adult time, and then sort of a Python-based commercial. And they say, you can't do that. You got to get your target audience and work. No. It's all those people. So you aim it for each one, because nobody watches, the adults don't watch the kids stuff, the kids don't watch the adults. And go for that. And it was, I just remember when we were promoting it, came into a hotel in New York, and I turned on the television, and this extraordinary stuff was on the television. I said, Jesus, what's that? That's fantastic. And then I realized, it's our film. It's Time Bandits. But it was like, to see this imagery come up on television was so, unlike what you get to see on television. So obviously it appealed, but I was convinced it wasn't going to work. I mean, I remember getting off the plane in LA and just looking at the people of LA in the airport and saying, no, they will never accept this. But they did. And there used to be more independent money floating around. And there used to be, in the good old days when 90% taxation existed here in this country, those were great, because it meant pop stars had to try to get rid of their money, and they gave it to us. That was Holy Grail, funded by pop stars.
Or else they went to live in France or Borneo,
the ones that stayed here had to get rid of a large sum of money, and we were the beneficiaries. So if we could bring back 90% taxation.
I think so long as you can get so really angry about things still, that's a ray of hope. Or rather discontented, or sort of feel that things are wrong and you've got to say something about it. I mean, that's what I suppose we were thinking then when we did Time Bandits and Python.
But now everything's right, so it's hard to be angry about anything.
Well, no, you're angry about the fact that things are right. So it's not possible to be angry about anything. That's what you're getting angry about.
No, it's you. You're really pissing me off now. I'm really getting angry with you, Mike. It's